What is going on, guys? Wow, it has been a little while since I posted. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Today's video, you guys, we're going to go over a couple things on the Mini Jeep, common problems and fixes in how to get it running properly, or to just fix the issue. So I'm going to go over a couple things that are some of the main problems with Mini Jeeps, and then we'll kind of work our way down to like annoyances and whatnot. But hang in there, we'll get the video rolling. All right, guys, so we're going to start the first section here on cold weather starting. A lot of you guys that are just getting these Jeeps, I get questions constantly how to start them properly, and I'm going to show you. Right now it is ice cold. It's about 14 degrees here in Illinois, so I'm going to show you a proper cold start procedure. All right, once you're in your Mini Jeep here, you're going to want to push your foot on the brake. At least this is how it is in the Coolster Series 2 here. You're going to want to pull your choke out all the way. Give it gas a couple times. Turn the key while you're hitting the gas. Now I'm keeping constant pressure, about quarter throttle right now. I know you guys are probably going to laugh at my new loafers. I got these for Christmas this morning, so. And we're going to let it idle down. No foot on the gas at all right now. Give it a little bit more choke. You just kind of got to listen to the motor. It'll talk to you. There we go. She is up and running. All right, shut her down here. We're going to move on to problem number 2. This is another one that I get a million questions on, you guys, and it is fuel related. The thing will just crank, and not start. There's a couple factors in here that need to be looked at, especially when the Jeep is brand new. So you're going to want to make sure, this is the fuel flow valve right here. Let me get a little bit better focus on it. You're going to want to make sure that that stays between on and off. It is intentionally broken off, so a lot of you guys are going to be asking questions, why is that broken? They do that from the factory, presumably so you don't mess with it, but sometimes they come in not adjusted properly. And I mean, each Jeep is a little bit different. You're going to have to mess with yours a little bit. That's my sweet spot, right in the middle, a little bit more towards the on position. Another one related to fuel is the pulse pump right here. This is a diaphragm that pulsates and pumps fuel from the tank to the carb. So you guys are going to want to make sure that this is working properly as well. You're going to want to make sure all your clamps are cinched down, there's no leaks, etc. Getting back to the carb here, a lot of them, this is the idle screw. This is a factory carb. A lot of guys switch it out because they have problems with these. Luckily, I've had amazing luck with mine. The idle screw, you're going to want to play with that. So yeah, when you guys twist this here and you're messing with it, clockwise, throttles up, counterclockwise, throttles back. So that is your idle adjustment screw. That's another thing that needs to be looked at. While we're right here on the carb, this is a problem that happened to mine. The bowl here on the carburetor, they come with these, they're like rivet screws that are not supposed to be serviceable, so you can't screw them in or unscrew them. Mine actually backed out and it fell out. So I just replaced them with like stove screws, and I put a little Loctite on them, and I have not had a problem since. Okay, well, we're staying under the hood here. There's a couple valves. It's going to be very, very hard to see, but it's down in there in the mess of wires here. Right there, there's another valve that's a shutoff valve for the tank. Make sure that's open. Obviously, you need fuel. So, coming over here, another thing you need to get the vehicle running, obviously, you want to make sure that there's good spark. Spark plug is located right here. Mine looks a little bit different because I have a wire wrapped around here for my tachometer. So you guys are just going to have a black cable that looks like this. You're going to want to pull that plug out. Make sure that there is proper gap on here. I'll find the gap for it and I'll post it down below here. But the plug that's in here is an NGK plug. It's just your common mini bike, dirt bike spark plug. Like I said, I'll find it and I'll post it down below for you guys. All right, and I know there's going to be a million questions. Absolutely ask away, you guys. I'll do my best to answer your guys' questions, get back to you on them. The easiest way to get a hold of me is on my Instagram. It's at RealProjects815. So if you guys have any questions pertaining to anything listed here, absolutely feel free to reach out to me. I'm very, very good about getting back and answering questions. So we're going to move on to problem number 2. It is the battery. A lot of dead battery situations with these. They come with a stupid small battery that's located here. Mine is no longer there. I have upgraded the battery. I put a giant motorcycle battery in the back, which I'll show you guys in a second. But you're 100% going to want a tender. That's what this is. I'm just running a standard tender. I got it off of Amazon. I believe it was 15 bucks. Works great. Every time I ride it and I get back, I plug it in and it's boom, fresh for the next ride. So I'll show you guys that battery here real quick. This is the battery upgrade I did. This is just your standard Harley-Davidson battery. I ran cables down all the way down the side here to the front, tied them into the old cables, soldered them together, and it works beautiful. Especially if you're running winch, lights, any accessories, you guys are going to need a battery upgrade. Okay, moving right along. So now we're going to get into the speedometer. So obviously mine, I changed my speedometer out. I put in a GPS speedometer for it because the other one was giving me headaches. So the fix, if you guys want to keep your factory speedometer, it's a simple fix. And it seemed to me like it was going to be a pain in the butt. So on your rear sprocket, let me focus, sorry guys. There are little magnets right here. They're little magnet pickups. And I have zip tied mine up out of the way, but there's a little pickup that sits and picks up those magnets. So what happens is if you guys trail ride, it'll bump that out of the way and it's not picking up the rotation. So what you guys are going to want to do is push that a little bit closer and make sure it's aligned with these magnets on the rear sprocket. Simple fix. Alright guys, and since we were back here, another one that a lot of people, this is more of the annoyance factor, chain slap. These things chain slap the tunnel when they're under a load, and it's very annoying. There's a couple different ways to fix this. One, you could adjust the rear axle. Right here, you're going to loosen this guy and tighten this guy. It'll pull the rear axle back. You do that on both sides. Or, if you guys could see it, I have mine pushed out of the way right now. That is a aftermarket chain tensioner for a pit bike. It works amazing. I don't have chain slap anymore. I was using that before I discovered that you could pull the rear axle back. So I pulled my rear axle back and my chain slap has gone away. So I have that there just in case the chain decides to stretch out a little bit and I'm on the trail. I could throw that baby back on and my chain slap goes away. So maintenance wise. So there are a couple maintenance items that you guys definitely need to make sure you're doing with these. The rear axle castle nuts will back off and come loose. Even though there's a cotter key through it, they still will back out a little bit. So you're going to want to tighten them back up and torque them down. Do not go crazy with an impact. I made the mistake of doing that and stripped the axle. I had to, I welded them on, so I had no other choice because that nut would just spin and spin and spin. So my mistake, don't make the same mistake I made on tightening these rear axle nuts. Also, when you guys get these and they come in and you guys are putting these together, make sure you grease the bearings back here. Just a standard Zerk fitting. I just used universal grease in there. Doesn't have to be anything special, just lubricate them because they are bone dry and it'll start squealing and you'll ruin your rear bearings. Make sure you guys do that. All right, guys, I got one last little tidbit, whatever you want to call it. So, say you're out cruising, battery dies. You're like, crap, I can't start the dang thing. Easy. So what you're going to want to do, turn the key on. Obviously, battery's going to be dead, so you might not get any lights. You're going to want to put it in first gear. With the key on, you're going to rock it, push forward, bumps right over. She fires right up. And it will run on the magneto and get you home. Pretty cool. So yeah, just a few simple things on these, you guys. It's not a difficult machine to run or figure out problems. If you're not mechanically inclined, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I will do everything I can to help you guys, even as going as far as video chatting with you, showing you what to do on mine as kind of a reference. But again, you guys, I really appreciate you hanging in there with me. It has been a while since I've done a mini Jeep video, and I apologize about that. Just times are crazy right now with COVID and everything else, so make sure you guys hit my subscribe button over here. I'll have another video posted up over here. Till next time, guys, peace.